Hello, Internet. I have returned from my hiatus. So yeah, I went to go see my grandparents, and I'm killing the planet. You want to know how? I went to go see my grandparents, and I saw an article, and to summarize it's clickbait. It's just clickbait. But the clickbait bites. So I clicked on it and I was like, okay, this person's insane. I'm gonna start a video. Let me go read you this article. Last year, the pandemic made me miss. Okay, whatever. Preamble, boring. When I went to book my plane tickets, I was forced to confront something unexpected: guilt. Oh no. Alongside price, departure time, and a new column of data popped up on Google Flights. The carbon emissions associated Jesus Christ, with each Minneapolis. Wait, what? With each ticket. According to Google, a nonstop JetBlue flight from Boston to Minneapolis estimated 288 kilograms of carbon dioxide per passenger. Okay. Now, let's just do this. So, let's find the distance between Minneapolis and Boston. Now, that distance is 1,121 miles. 1,121 miles, right? So, let's do 288, right? 288 divide by 1121. Let's find how many per mile. How much do you admit? 0.256913 kilograms per mile. So put a pin in that, because we're going to then find the distance by how much a bus admits when you travel a mile. A bus admits about 80 grams per mile, whereas a plane emits about 256 grams per mile. Okay, well, that's a large difference. But this can be explained. You see, planes, get this, carry a lot more people than a bus does. So let's just say find the largest amount a double-decker bus from London can carry, and then divide 80 by that to find whatever, and then divide our 256 grams by that, and then we'll find, which is truly more efficient. So from London, it carries about 60 people. So 80 divided by 60 equals about 1.33333. Okay, so then let's assume it's a 737, because I'm gonna guess that would be the plane used for that type of flight. I may have a few books about airplanes, just a few, not like 5 or something. Especially not ones about commercial airplanes. I definitely don't have 2 books about those. Definitely, I'm weird. So 230. That's what I found. So divide that by 230, and you get that the airplane is more efficient, barely by like 2/10. So not that more efficient, but it only proves how efficient jets are. Even though they emit so much, that's because they fly for a really long time, and flights of that distance, tend to only be in their like peak for 50% of the flight. peak efficiency. Because when you start to ascend or descend, I'm sorry, but they lose efficiency because of drag. So yeah, planes are more efficient, just barely, and when buses can't, take you over a mountain in a matter of minutes. Sorry. Anyways, after some quick calculations, let's get back to the article. Whatever. Of carbon Sun Country, ever the bargain airline, costs the plan only 200, 204 kilograms. So I'd go for the short number. I went for the JetBlue number. Aviation makes up less than 3% of the global carbon emissions, but for frequent flyers, it's the biggest slice of our so-called personal carbon footprint. I'm gonna guess it's not. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like heating. Whatever. Um, just 1% of the world's population accounted for more of half of the carbon-related emissions. Let me read you that again, so you understand what she's actually saying. In 2018, just 1% of the world's population accounted for more than half of the aviation all that year. The world's population. You know, where everybody flies. The world's population. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that starving African kid flies all the time. Which is why that is dishonest, because saying that 1% of people account for more than half of something that is generally for more developed countries is not really a fair comparison. Jesus Christ, I cannot speak anyways. Almost 90% of the global population did not fly all that year. Oh no, thanks for proving my point. About half of all Americans didn't take a single flight in 2017, but a small group of super emitters took 6 trips or more and were responsible for about 2/3 of flights. That math has led a growing number of people, especially in Europe, to swear off flying and push others to do the flying. Flight of shame, or as they call it in Sweden, is spreading. So yeah, basically she's just saying, "Oh no, people are swearing off flying because they emit anyways, they emit barely any carbon." Well, jets are actually really efficient, anyways. Because they can run on basically anything if you make them right. So you can just dump cooking oil in your fuel tank and you have a jet powered plane. A very smoky jet powered plane, but who cares? Also, it only accounts for 3% of carbon emissions in the world, right? Okay. So how about let me just go break something down for you. You know how China's committed to reducing their carbon emissions? China is still considered a developing country. So, even though they signed the Paris Climate Accord, they can still build as many coal plants as they want. And that's what they're doing. In fact, they've increased their carbon emissions, and they're not required, if they were actually to follow it, to decrease or maintain that carbon emissions level until 2030. So China can keep growing its carbon emissions until 2030, and, then they have to start decreasing it. So, no. You not flying for a year is not going to make any dent in what China's doing. China is probably the most responsible is the country with the most emissions. It has the most population, okay, whatever. But it's double the US's, which comes in second place. The first 10 countries combined do not make up the total that China produces in carbon emissions. Even if the entirety of the US just went no carbon produced, China would China would still destroy the planet. You not flying is not going to do anything. Removing that 3% is not going to do anything. China is going to add 5% to their carbon emissions. Well, okay, whatever. Okay, well, a major contributor of carbon emissions, transport, cars, whatever. Well, let's say you buy a Tesla or any other cars. Well, those lithium batteries have to come from somewhere. Lots of carbon is produced making those batteries. I forget what the number of years you have to use your Tesla for, but it's like 5 years to completely offset it. And where do you think the energy is coming from? Fossil fuel. So okay, well whatever. You turn to solar panel. You move to Montana. You put up some windmills. You put up some solar panels. Oh no, those windmills just killed some birds, and those birds are now releasing methane. In fact, windmills kill a lot of birds, and you know, birds, release an okay amount of methane. So no matter what, there's going to be not to mention manufacturing the windmills, but whatever. No matter what you do, there's still going to be carbon somewhere. You, the best you can do is limit your carbon usage and plant trees. You cannot get to a perfect net zero because somewhere on along the line with you trying to get to net zero, something had to make a gram of carbon. Oh Jesus. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading the article. The website Flight Free, which is dedicated to persuading people to give up air travel, includes testimonials of Americans who've pledged to stay on the ground. State lawmaker from Vermont and a reverend from Massachusetts and even a former pilot are all quoted why they think it's no longer fair to fly. One California woman, fantastic choice, had always dreamed of visiting New Zealand, and she said she was now resigned to the idea that she'd never go unless I can find a boat to take me. Boats produce a lot of carbon emissions unless you're gonna get a solar panel boat, in which it's going to take you years. Because when it's not sunny, your boat's not gonna move. And when it's night, your boat's also not gonna move. I mean, if this article makes you feel awful, go donate $10 to Teen Seas. It will literally remove 10 pounds of trash from the ocean, and it will also it will help plankton or algae. Sorry, plankton's shitty. Algae's good, except in pools. Algae shucks. Ugh, fuck me. I cannot speak. Um, yeah, which will help algae grow, and algae produces most of the oxygen. So don't let this article guilt trip you, into not going to see your family members. Don't let this article make you into a hermit. Go donate $1 or something to Team Seas. I mean, how many days do they have left? They have 34 days left at the time of recording. I mean, just go donate to Team Seas if you're so concerned with your carbon footprint. It will offset some of it. Another way that you can do it is just buy American-made products more. Again, China emits the most emissions of all countries, and they're considered a developing country, so they can keep increasing emissions without penalty. From so just if you can donating to Team Seas, good. So you can already do that. I've already donated $5. Thanks, bank account. Anyways, you can stop buying Chinese made goods. Not only will you be not supporting a communist and authoritarian regime that harvests people's organs and suppresses free speech, and nothing happened on June 6th. Um, and you can help fight climate change by literally just buying a more expensive item because we don't have slave labor. Another thing that China definitely doesn't have, according to Pooh Bear. So, anyways, just Jesus, end of video. Bye.